Um,
What is up,
right.
everybody?
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Got
Nice.
Shep representing the brand. I love it. Got his Travis hat on.
Always representing.
Sweet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Always representing.
So
Nice.
real quick. Oh, Joni's. She didn't want to be left out. Joan has her one of a kind shirt on, 18 strong. That's from back in the day, personally made, hand stitched. Brought the shirt into the gym and we took it to the embroiderer. That one's old school. Quick congratulations to Joan. Are you done with your forge? Today's your last day?
Joni. That's unbelievable.
Today is the last day. Or did it end yesterday? Okay, today's the last day. Joan had let me see if I can show you guys. It is the most perfect looking calendar. Forge calendar, complete with stickers and smiley faces. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, boy.
How good does that look?
Joni, that looks like the work of a madman. It's so perfect.
Yeah, right. There's nothing better than seeing the calendar completely crossed off and then throw some gold stars and smiley faces on it. Even better.
That's pretty awesome.
And nothing like the anxiety of the day after having no direction whatsoever in your life and no script to follow.
Well, that's
today.
Exactly what today's about, right? That's what today's call is all about.
You're welcome for the segue.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to segue yet, so thanks for interrupting, you big jerk.
What a turkey. Yeah, that t-shirt that Joni has will be like, if you own the first pair of Nikes, it'd be worth millions one day.
Yeah, right. I'm sure people are going to be wanting to hang that on their wall. So let me quick show of hands. For everyone that is still on the forge, is today anybody else's last day? All right.
Meg, Mark.
We got the Harringtons. They've been crushing it. That's awesome. So I know many of us are finishing. Tomorrow is our last day. So again, not to rub it in, but for those that aren't in St. Louis, we decided last week. So a couple of us we had our Sunday Smash session, which I haven't posted anything on that yet. I'm going to get all of the Smash sessions that we did, kind of labeled out on those sheets like we had, and then I'll get them out to all of you guys. And then when I have some free time in the gym, my intent is to go through and do a quick little video of every single exercise that we had on there. And then we'll package that up. So I think there were 6 of them total. But the day before our Smash session this past Sunday, several of us went out and did a little trail run. There was just 4 of us, and we did a little trail run at this local trail. It's called Al Foster Park, and it's a great it's like 5 miles if you go up and back down. At one point, there's a bluff that overlooks a golf course out in the distance, which that's going to be a possible adventure for us in the near future, to do the trail hike and then go play some golf. We'll keep you guys posted on that. But this coming Saturday, since most of us, I think all of us that are doing the Smash sessions will be finished with the forge, we're going to go, that's how we're going to celebrate. We're going to go do our trail run, our hike, probably just a hike or a ruck, and maybe celebrate with a cold frosty one in the parking lot to cap it all off. So it's gonna be kind of cool. So we'll I'm hoping to get a couple videos of the guys and maybe a couple words from each of the guys just on their experience, and we'll share some of that stuff with you guys too. But congrats to everybody that has been forging on. I know a few folks have a little longer to go. I'm looking directly at Marina. You can't tell, but I'm looking directly at her. But
at least I'm not too bad. I've only got 9 more days compared to Jim Morrison, who had done 26 days.
That was like a gut punch to me when I saw his post that he forgot his golf swings, I think, right?
Yeah.
And
the easiest thing.
Just this past week, he had to be on like day 35 or something like that. It was like, oh, that hurt. But I applaud James for for hopping on. Even did a little video to let us know that he was starting it all over, and that was really cool. So today's call, because this is the big topic, is, well, what do I do now? You know, I've had several conversations over the last week or two with some people here in town that are either doing the forge or I've come across a lot of people, and I think this is cool, even though they're not doing the exact forge, they've been doing like a modified version of it. And, you know, I like to give people trouble for not doing it all the way and doing it the right way. But that's just my story, right? Like, I don't care what you do, as long as you're doing something to get better and improve yourself. And so I was talking to my brother-in-law, and he's basically been doing most of it. And, you know, for most people, doing something 40 days in a row is a novelty. Like, it's something that you just haven't done either in a long time or ever done, whether that be the 40 minutes of exercise every single day, whether that be abstaining from alcohol for 40 days, doing a little mobility routine, doing even something as simple as the morning water. To do anything for 40 days straight is something to applaud yourself for. And so I've had several conversations though, like, and specifically with my brother-in-law, he's like, man, this is great. He's kind of almost down to, he wanted to get down to a certain weight. And he's like, man, I'm almost there, but I'm kind of scared when my 40 days are over, that I'm just going to go back to exactly what I was before. And I think that that's a very, very common question. It's a very, you know, I mean, it's a great question to ask ourselves, because most of us do kind of fall into that habit. You know, you just kind of go back. You look at this thing as like, okay, I'm trying to get to this, or I've got 40 days and then I'm going to do it and I'm going to achieve my goal. And then cool, I did it. And now I'm just going to go back to doing what I did before because that was hard.
Right.
But the whole intention of this thing is for the forge to be more of a jumping off point than it is to just be 40 days for you to accomplish and then be done with, right? So, and I think that the people that did it last year will attest to the fact that many of the things they've continued to do for the last year, maybe not every single day, maybe not all of the little pieces, you know, not abstaining from alcohol for the whole year, but I would venture to say that a lot of the people that did the forge last year, and hopefully a lot of people that did it this year, will continue in some capacity to do the cold showers, will continue in some way, shape, or form to input some sort of quiet time or meditation into their day. You'll be a little bit more cognizant of how many days you do get some physical activity, if that wasn't something. Hopefully pay a little bit more attention to your diet or alcohol intake or all of those different pieces. One of my buddies, he has now done over 400 cold showers in a row, 400 days of cold showers in a row.
Dang.
And this is a guy that he never would have done a cold shower if it wasn't for the forge. And now he loves it and he does it every single day. And so the idea here is, how do we now take this 40 days of a challenge that is very difficult? Each individual thing is not that difficult, but doing all of them for 40 days straight is extremely challenging. But now what do we do? And I found myself after the forge the first time, kind of in that position, like almost, you know, like you're excited because you finish it, but then it's like, whew, thank goodness that's over. Now I can do this. Now I can eat whatever. Now I can have drinks. Now I can go have beers. And we even talked about this, I think, before the forge started. I remember kind of talking to Shepard about it. You know, you almost get in this habit of you can get in this habit of when you're not doing something like this, you can almost go like off the rails completely, because you know, maybe you're going to get back on something like this. And so it's like, I'll get back on track when I start the forge again, or when I start this new deal.
Sure.
So our intention here, and Ryan and I talk about this all the time, our intention is to start bringing these into just kind of becoming a little bit normal daily activities, not so stringent, but bringing these things into your life. And I believe it was Mark that even posted in the Facebook group. It's like, okay, man, like this is great, but like what that's my question. What do we do now? So I will I'll send to every one of you, and we're going to go through all the things for the back nine. The back nine really is very similar to the original Forge, but we wanted to make it so it gives you a little bit more leeway. So because we wanted to almost kind of like taper you into what feels like normal life. You know what I mean? So you don't
Normal
feel
life, yes.
so, but so you have some guidelines. You have some
Right.
bumpers on your lanes, so you're not just going straight into the gutters. Does anybody, before I just start kind of rattling through these, I'd like to hear from some of you about your experience a little bit, what has been really great, and then maybe even like, yeah, what are you a little bit kind of hesitant about as we move into this next phase? And obviously the back nine isn't mandatory for anybody. So if you decide you're not going to do it, or so I'd love to hear some thoughts or experiences from anybody that is willing to share. Or Ryan, if you have any comments before we even have anybody raise their hands for questions.
Oh, I always have a comment, whether it's
Yeah.
positive or, but yeah, so it's kind of like if we're talking about this, it's almost like doing steroids because it works so freaking well. It's like you get like if you do steroids and you like want to be a muscle guy, how do you ever get off that? It's hard. It's like you can't get a little bit pregnant, but it's very odd to me. So like this year I didn't do the full blown, like I had my modified version, and it's, mine was I only eat from noon till 8. That's it. And then I have not had any processed food since January 12th. And I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds now. So it's having done, started that Forge, last year and doing all those things, then just doing these two little things seems like a freaking joke. So that's my biggest takeaway is like every time you do the Forge, it makes just that one extra little habit just seem very, very simple. So it's a great jumping off point. But yeah, I think that the transition that's where all these like crash diets go wrong. It's unsustainable, which for the Forge is absolutely unsustainable, but they don't teach you how to like, because crash diets they want you to do that in perpetuity, where now like you're showing people, okay, how do we again transition into quote unquote normal life where we get to indulge a little bit more than we had during the Forge.
Yeah, and to be honest, I wouldn't even say that the Forge is necessarily unsustainable, because I would venture to say that there's, aside from, because you get to pick your diet, so it's
Yeah.
Sticking with that, it's all about the rules and regulations that you kind of put on yourself there. Now, I know plenty of people that don't drink alcohol whatsoever, so that takes that right off the table. Now,
Right.
for most people that do enjoy drinking, they drink socially, whatever, then the alcohol piece is obviously going to make that unsustainable. They want to go back to doing that, which is absolutely 100% fine. But really, there's the things that are the non-negotiable tasks. Really, I think all of you have figured out they're not that hard to put into your lifestyle. They don't take that long. We can all find 40 minutes to do some sort of physical activity. And again, we're not saying you have to make it some sort of crazy hit circuit routine or even a major strength training session. It's just something physically intentional that you're doing, and that can fall right in line with that could be your range session or going and playing golf. So I think that that's why I don't look at this as like a detox, or because you are allowed to play around with what your rules and restrictions are. You're just not allowed to cheat on your rules.
Right.
So, but that being said, most of us are going to change things up a little bit as we go through the rest of our year, and might become a little bit more lenient, might just, not pay so much attention to those specific 7 daily tasks. Maybe you have some other things that you want to put in or take out. So I'd love to hear from somebody that has been almost all the way through the Forge, maybe that we haven't heard from before, that just your experience so far. Anyone willing to join us?
Joe Nichols.
All right, Joe.
Come
Awesome.
on down.
Hey guys, yeah, happy to do it. This is I just found out about all this year. The heads up and stuff like that, and I've loved it. Obviously, it's been great. Tomorrow's my last day. Started out, the cold showers were a real hard part initially. Now that's not a factor really at all. That I don't love it, but it's not too bad for a minute. So, the drinking, that was part two, but I love that. I mean, that's sort of my concern. It's, not like going crazy beforehand, but it's like I don't want to make up for lost time, and got to find a way to kind of keep that part of it going. But yeah, all the 7 things have been great, so I've really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Hopefully, I'll be able to keep a lot of it going.
Yeah. So Joe, what would you say? You said the drinking piece was, one of the bigger ones. What would you say you're hesitant about as the Forge ends? You mentioned getting back into that and, not overdoing it or making up for lost time is what you said. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of the things I would do, I really like meditation, and a lot of these things I get knocked out in the morning. Like I have water waiting for me when I wake up. I put it in my nightstand before I go to bed. So get up, drink the water. I generally meditate right away, do the mobility, maybe take a cold shower, do the shower before I go do something. And then the gym and the swings, are really the things. So I anticipate keeping most of those, but just sort of once you get off, this has been really dedicated, like 40 days you're doing it, like you said, and then it's at the end. And like once you get off it, I think it would be easy to slip. No matter what I say my goals are, it's like once you're out of this, unless you're getting right into the back nine or something, it's easy to say, okay, I'm only have a few beers on the weekend, but then it's like Thursday night and the guys are going out, and then it's okay, Thursday, and then and then it's like I don't feel like it in the morning, so you kind of put it off because you don't have this real specific. Now that's mental, right? I mean, you got to be strong enough to do it and all that stuff. So I mean but that's sort of what I know I have to be aware of.
Yeah, I think that part of the beauty of doing something like this is you simply are willing to write down what your actual decision is. And so then you're held to it, right? So if you have nothing that you're really going by as guidelines, it's easy to push that down the road a little bit. Like you said, I'm only going to drink on the weekends, and then something comes up. Well, it's kind of a special occasion, I'll do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, now I've already broken that. So what's the big deal? And then it just kind of can be a little bit of a snowball and a landslide. And I think that it can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as, writing down a commitment. And I think that's why most people don't write down their goals sometimes, is because they don't want to hold themselves to it. And so if it's not written down, you never really said you were going to do it. So
right.
it's an easy out. Technically, I'm not really breaking a rule because the rule was never really set in place. And it really can be as simple as that. Now, again, you're the rule holder, and you're the judge and jury. So we all have to kind of figure out, are we really going to hold ourselves accountable to that or not? But no, I'm glad you've really enjoyed it, and you've had a good experience with it. And it sounds like you're going to continue a lot of these things no matter what. And I would say that, yeah, when you don't have these things, it really is easy to like, oh, I didn't do my swings, or I didn't do my 40 minutes. I didn't allot the time to do it. And so I'll just push it off for today. And so, just kind of having those things in the forefront when you're looking ahead at your calendar and being able to plug those things in on a weekly basis is really kind of the big deal.
Yeah. So Joe, my question is, so on the days where you weren't feeling it, what pushed you through? Like for me, I can't not get that X on the thing. Like I can't break the streak. I know it's different for everybody else. So like on that day, like, oh God damn it, I don't want to do my 40 minutes, or this cold shower sucks. What got you over the hump where you said, well, screw it, I just have to do it?
Well, I mean, a couple of different things. But one, I have some good golfing buddies that I work out with somewhat, and hang out, golf with all the time, and they know. And I put it out there that I was doing it, so almost like have someone else you can kind of break it to yourself, and only you failed, and you feel bad, but
Right.
only I have other friends who are, hey, you still doing it? How's it going? And I sort of that, maybe it's not the best reason, but I didn't want to say no, I couldn't do it. Like no, I had to, not, and again, the only thing to me, and I don't make it sound the wrong way, but like have a beer or something, like all the other stuff, I feel like is just, you just got to make time to do it. You know what I mean? But like after golf, the first couple of weeks, it was like, oh, we'd always go in and have a beer,
Sure.
and I'm like, no, go
Right.
away. So, but yeah, sort of accountability and like getting out there with some of my other friends as well. That was one of the big things.
Yeah, I'm with you. That I struggle with the beer thing because it's so delicious.
Well, and that one is, you find yourself in that moment, and it's like, again, it's that delayed gratification versus what I want right now. And it's kind of like, why did I commit to this thing again? I mean, I love playing golf. I'm hanging with my buddies like this. I really enjoy doing that. I'm going to have a beer. And then it's almost like immediately after that, you're like, why did I do that? I said I was going to do this thing. And then you just kind of start beating yourself up. And at least, kind of that's my mentality, is like, in that moment, really finding out like, all right, what am I made of right here? And almost taking it on as a little bit of a challenge. And I love the fact that you put it out there to your buddies and you let them know that that you were doing it. And, who knows, if your buddies are like our buddies, they probably gave you some shit about it. They probably, probably even our buddies would have even ordered a beer and set it in front of us, as a little tempter. But, they knew that you were doing it and they'd call you out on it. And I think that using that as a tool, as opposed to that being like your deterrent of, oh man, my buddies are going to give me some trouble or whatever. Like, you use that as a tool. You use that as a way to motivate you even a little bit more. Like, hey, I kind of want to show my buddies that I can do this. Some of them probably think that I'm going to fail on this thing and I'm not going to do it. And my will's going to break. And I guarantee that you'll have some buddies ask, and you probably already have, asking you about it. And if you do it again next year, or, I mean, this is something that people can do at any time of the year. Right. And so I know that we'll have other people starting the Forge soon. They'll see a post or they'll hear about it. And I guarantee at least one of your buddies will do it next year. If you do it again, and you'll probably have a little bit of a group, just like we did here. Like, we had a full gym of guys. Shepard comes in on Sunday mornings when he's around. And, we got a group of guys that I never would have thought half of those guys would have done this and gone 40 days without drinking and, all the things. But it's amazing how you just doing that has now kind of probably sparked some interest. And even, I guarantee you've inspired some people. I'm curious, Joe, real quick, is what have you noticed physically? What physical changes have you noticed? I mean,
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, just like I've lost, probably about 10 pounds. I'm going to say more or less.
Nice.
But just, I feel so much, a lot of energy. I mean, I love getting up. Like, I get up at pretty much 5 every morning and go to the gym at 6, and just wake up, feel. I sleep so much better, just more energy, and it's just those are probably the biggest things. Yeah, but I just overall just feeling is 100% better.
Awesome.
Very cool.
I love it. All right. I'm gonna ask one of the Harringtons, if they don't mind, if one would share some of their story or both of their stories, or just I'm curious because I think you're the first couple that has done this. And I would say that, or I can imagine it's probably a lot better to do it as a couple than just one of you doing it and the other not. So Mark or Meg, if one of you guys wouldn't mind popping on and unmuting, I'd love to hear from you.
All right, Mark, you go first.
I was going to say, I never step in front of my wife.
It's a good
Smart
policy.
Yeah, no, totally easier to do it together. I mean, we both talked about that. It was a lot easier, kind of reinforcing being on, similar diet, similar program, sitting there. It would have worked. I mean, we talked about that. We know couples that somebody's doing dry January, the other spouse isn't. I'm like, yeah, it would have been okay, but made it a lot easier doing it together. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And what,
Yeah.
Mark, what has been your experience of, what's been the hardest thing, and what has been kind of the biggest change that you've seen over the 40 days?
No, I'm still not used to those cold showers. I don't know about the person that's done it 400 days in a row.
Screw loose.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought it was going to be super hard, and it wasn't, and that concerns me a little bit. I think it's going to get hard. So that's what I worry about. But I'm telling you, this whole, I really needed. That's why probably better that I talk instead of Meg, because she would say, "Yeah, he really needed to do this." I really needed. I really needed to do this, and you were helping me. You and Ryan were helping me a little bit over the summer because I was planning on a golf trip to Ireland. We were playing 15 rounds of golf in 11 days, and I'm sitting there thinking, "Man, I am not ready for this." And I put it together. I'm like, I can't poop out. I got to be able to finish this. So you had suggested the Forge, but Meg and I had a 2-week trip to Italy and Greece coming right in the middle of that. I'm like, nope, not going to do the no alcohol thing. Going to Italy, we're going to enjoy the food and the alcohol there. So we kind of came up with a modified version. Sorry, but then when it was like, okay, do that now. I'm like, I got no excuses, and I got to do something. This seems really hard, but you said something in the lead up to this, and I found it to be very true for me, which was it was something about willpower. Like we don't just have willpower. It's something that you've got to exercise. You got to develop it. You practice it. You can learn it, right? I'm like, that's my problem. I just don't have a lot of discipline with this stuff. And so the 40 days, 7 things, non-negotiable, no mulligans. If you miss one, you got to start over again. I run a sales team. I'm all about goal orientation. I got a goal. I gotta hit the goal. All right. 7 things, 40 days, got my chart, knock it out. Never entered my mind that I was going to miss one of them. It wasn't going to happen. And some of it, I thought, man, no beer for 40 days. I don't think I've ever done that. And I thought that was going to be probably the hardest thing. And I was pleased that it really wasn't hard at all. I mean, I was around my buddies. We played a little bit of golf here in Northern Virginia. They're having a couple of Guinness. They're trying to push a couple on me. Oh yeah, you don't have to do it like 40 days in a row, right? You can take a day off, like non-negotiable. Jeff says non-negotiable. If I have one sip, I gotta start over again. Not going to happen. So it really became a thing where I was turned off. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not doing it.
And then go ahead, Meg. Yeah.
I was going to say, we had been searching for a long time of something with structure. We did a lot of little things that, you might do great for a week or two and knock off a couple of pounds or whatever, but we were never, we needed structure, and we have a lot of fun together, and we are the best. We'll raise each other up and we'll drag each other down in terms of, this, I got a really good bottle of wine. There's a good movie on, let's Netflix, open the wine, and okay, my glass is empty, but that episode's not over. So I got to pour a little more in my glass and watch another episode. Now it's the reverse kind of scenario. And one of us might have good, it's like, I'm not drinking tonight. And then the other one walks into the room with a cocktail, and they're like, well, okay, maybe tomorrow night. So it was really much easier doing it together. But I'll say Mark went into it with such determination that he was not going to miss a day, miss a task. It was taped on our mirror in the bathroom. It was on the kitchen counter. And he had his Sharpie there, and he was, before that, he was an hour and a half into the day, he'd knocked most of the things off every single morning. So it made it a lot easier. I think for me, the biggest impact was learning that I can control my habits.
Mhm.
That, you know, getting on the couch at the end of the day, turning on the TV and thinking, you know, just one glass of wine, and then the one glass of wine turns into I want a bag of popcorn. And it was very much Pavlov's dog, and I didn't know how to climb out of that. So this really taught me that I can control my own habits every single day. And if I want that glass of red wine, here's 3 other things I can have instead, and have
Awesome.
them ready to grab right there, whether it's a hot tea or it's one of those fake gin and tonic in a can things or whatever it is, have it right there ready to grab. And it taught me that I win over my habits. I
Oh,
can
I
win.
love that. I win over my habits. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for my bad habits.
that's a great, Meg. I'm gonna give you full credit for that.
I win.
Yeah.
Habits. Yeah, that's Bodine, there are some days where, and there aren't many, where it's like, why are we doing this? This is so dumb. Why do we spend all of our time doing this? But okay, today
Yeah,
really makes
today's
up
the day,
for
man.
a lot of it. Whenever we're having a day that, why do we do 18 strong? This is I'll remember this for a while.
Yeah, and Meg, it's funny you said that you guys are really good at picking each other up and dragging each other down. That describes Ryan and I's relationship a lot, very well too. Like we're really good at bringing each other to good
That's right.
places and dragging each other down with a bunch of beers as well. So we all feel the pull there. I'm curious, how do you two see? Forget about the back nine piece right now, but how do you guys see this playing out as you move forward, just in the way that you guys, attack the day from here on out in your marriage? Do you feel like some of these things are going to continue to stick? Are you going to intentionally keep them going? Or what do you see kind of falling off a little bit? Or have you thought that far ahead?
I think we've talked about it a lot because we're really worried about it. We don't want to backtrack. And, we still, on our really a health journey, we still have a ways to go. So I want to still try to stick to as much of it as we can. What we did do is we curtailed some of our social activities, and that's kind of a bummer. Like when some folks went out to dinner, sometimes we went, but a lot of times we didn't, because I can control what I'm eating at home a lot better than I can control when I'm out at a restaurant, and even their healthy choices aren't even that healthy. So, but we're going to get back to social. I mean, this weekend kind of terrifies us. We were talking about it. We have Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. We have something planned every night. But I know that I want my goals in writing. I put them on right on the mirror to replace the ones from the 40 days, but I want to have them in writing, and I want them to be measurable, so that maybe we say you get X drinks in a week. So budget
Right.
your week. If you're going to have a big weekend, then guess what? You got to budget your week, or whatever it is.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think that should probably take us right into what the back nine is all about. And some of you already know this. Some of you did it last year, but really that's kind of the intention exactly, Meg, is like, how do we now go from one to the other? And so it really is kind of replacing what you did these last 40 days, or adding on or subtracting a little bit. And so I'll share with you guys all the link to where you can print this stuff out. But again, you're going to have another one of these guys. So I know Mark already likes to look at this. He's wanting to cross them off already. And then we're going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that you're checking off every day. Don't get scared, because it's not like it's going to take much more time. And then we even have kind of what you were alluding to, Meg, is just kind of, we're going to have you guys write down a couple little commitment kind of things that goes into what is on your sheet. So let me see if I can do this. I'm going to pull up my screen. All right. Can you guys see that?
Yep, I
It
see your
should be a Zoom
thing.
screen.
Yep.
Let's see. That's not really. Oh, here we go. Here's the problem. Okay. All right. Can you see the back 9 page?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on the back 9 page, there's a little video here. This is kind of a long-winded video. I say at the very beginning of the video, I'm gonna shoot a quick little video, and then I saw that it's a 15-minute video. So if you have 15 minutes and you want to watch that, do that, but you're gonna get the bullet points here. So our non-negotiable tasks for the back 9, and again, this is a 40-day deal. You can start it whenever you want to start it. Last year when I did it, I took a week in between and I started it the following Monday. I'm going to start this coming Monday, just for anybody that cares. So I'm going to start it up on Monday, and I am also making commitment that I'm not going to go crazy this weekend just because the forge is over. I've done that in the past on other challenges and other, forages and Lents and things like that. And it really just doesn't play out well. You don't feel good. You think you want all those things. Like Joe said, you want to make up for lost time a little bit.
Right.
You really don't. It's not going to make you feel good. You're actually, in many cases, going to have whatever you've been craving and realize like, oh, that it really wasn't nearly as good as I was expecting it to be, whether that be food or, having a bunch of drinks or whatever. But enjoy yourself, have fun. But little word of warning: don't blow it out of the water. You've put in all this hard work and time and effort, and part of it is realizing that you have this self-control. So remember that you have that self-control. So moving into the back 9, the next 40 days, the tasks are some of them are going to stay pretty much the same. You're still going to do your morning water, your 24 ounces of water. Like I say, preferably lemon water. You're going to continue to do your daily motions, your EFDs, and I like to call these your EFD pluses. So on here, I have 4 other little drills for you to do. They're a little bit posture related, shoulder health, core. They're very simple. They should all take you, each one will take less than a minute. So we're going to do elbow touches, shoulder circles, these side hip planks. And then the last one is like a wall sit, all for some upper back and those. So you can watch the videos on those, and there's the directions there. The third is the meditation and breathing. We're going to double this. So we're going to up this to 20 minutes a day of meditation, breathing, just intentional quiet time. I've debated putting in reading as one of the tasks because I think it's very helpful to read like some personal development kind of stuff to almost get your mindset, but I don't want to add too much stuff in. I really want to keep the meditation piece in there because I think we just don't get enough time where we're not pulling stuff into our eyeballs, our ears. And I really see this with my teenager for sure. Like anytime most of us have a free second, we naturally go to our phone. We naturally go to the computer. We're constantly like looking for something to entertain us or to, and I find myself like wanting to learn something, read something. I think there's so much value in just sitting quietly or, just enjoying your surroundings and not inputting anything into your ears or eyes. So we're keeping the meditation and we're doubling that to 20 minutes every single day. Okay. You can see on the bottom of the screen that the cold shower is still a piece of this. And I see Joan shaking her head already. And I'm sorry to tell you, Joan, but the cold shower doubles in time to 2 minutes this time around. Yeah. Sorry. Doubling it to 2 minutes. So not taking much more of your time every day, but, increasing your shower by that capacity is not everybody's favorite. The IPAs are going to be the same, still just 40 minutes of consecutive exercise. Now, this is the big one. So diet and alcohol, this is almost exactly what you were talking about, Meg, is it's not complete abstinence from alcohol from, enjoying some different foods every now and then. Again, this time around, you're specifically just coming up with your own rules and regulations around this, similar to what we did with the diet. You're picking what your dietary plan is. And that can include, so last year, what I did, and I think I haven't written these down yet, but I think what I'm going to do again is I gave myself, I pretty much stuck to the same diet, but gave myself two cheat meals every single week. So I could go out to dinner or have pizza with the kids or whatever. Again, you come up with your own rules on this. This is not something that you need to run by me or Ryan or whatever. You come up with your own rules. Alcohol wise, you come up with your own commitment for that too. What I chose to do was exactly what you suggested, Meg, is having a limit of drinks per week. And I did 6 drinks per week last year. And it's funny because that you really start to like plan out, what's going on throughout your week. Are you going out to dinner? Are you going to be at home? Are you going out with the guys? Are you watching football? Or, we went on a spring break trip with the kids and we had rented a cabin and, you're sitting out by the fire and it's like, there's nothing I love more than sitting out by a campfire and having a glass of wine or a beer. But I had to figure out like, okay, how many nights are we at the cabin? How many drinks? So again, it's all a silly little game that you play with yourselves, but it's a great way to keep yourself accountable to not sitting on the couch watching Netflix and having that extra little glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine, or for me, sitting there watching Peaky Blinders and trying to drink as much whiskey as those guys are drinking during Peaky Blinders. Or somebody else recently said Yellowstone is they like to have a drink with the boys and the boys are the guys on Yellowstone, because they drink whiskey nonstop. So just, having, again, some accountability around it, because this is what we don't do in our regular lives. And people looking from the outside might think it's silly. They might think, what do you mean you have a limit on how many drinks per week? But you've already found for the last 40 days that having some rules, having some regulations has really worked for you. And it's gotten you to this place where you're a better version of yourself today than you were 38, 39 days ago, right? And so rather than saying, okay, I did it, and now I'm going to shift back into what got me to where I was, 40 days ago, keep doing or keep moving in the direction of what you've been doing that works, right? Like Mark, you said you run a sales team. Like if you saw that there's 5 things that your sales team was doing and it's causing you guys to crush it, it's like, when you reach that goal of whatever your sales goal was, it's not like, oh yeah, like we hit it. Like, let's not do that stuff anymore. Or let's go back to the way we used to do it. It's like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. So this is a way to kind of keep implementing that. Number 7 is a little bit different. So instead of doing the 15 swings left-handed and right-handed, you're only doing 5 swings left and right-handed. And then I want you to do your regular swing. So if you're a righty, swing right-handed, but you're going to do a 1-minute slow motion golf swing. And this is for you to kind of feel your body a little bit more. It's going to make you slow everything down. It's going to make you feel your rotation and feel your body a little differently. So just kind of creating a little bit more of that awareness of mind to body in your golf swing than just blindly swinging through. So again, we're still working on 5 swings each way, but this way you're going to be working on moving your body in the proper direction, but with a little bit more intention and diligence. And sometimes even having your eyes closed while doing this can be very beneficial as far as your proprioception, which is your body's awareness of itself in space. And the more your body's aware of what it's doing, the better you're going to be able to control what's happening in your golf swing. So a 1-minute slow motion golf swing, which is harder to do than you would think. Usually when you start to do it, you'll rush through it and realize you have 40 seconds left. So set a timer, go nice and slow, and just see if you can time that out. Longer is better. Number 8 is what I call a 1-minute max out. And I call it this because a couple of years ago, I did this on Instagram. Every single day, I did a 1-minute, basically high intensity kind of cardio activity. So this could be jump roping, This could be getting on a stationary bike. This could be jumping jacks. This could be, getting on your hands and doing the sliders like mountain climbers, whatever it is, but doing something for 1 minute a day that's going to get your heart rate up. Could be a rower, could be running a sprint, could be, whatever it is, but something for 60 seconds that's going to challenge you physically, get your heart rate up a little bit of a sprint kind of an exercise. Just make sure that you're doing something that's safe, not hard on your joints, and something that you're comfortable doing. And start very conservatively if you're worried about this one at all, and then slowly start to push yourself a little bit more. But I think it's very important for us to challenge ourselves from a physical and a cardiovascular standpoint on a regular basis. And this is just an easy way to knock it out very quickly, just once a day. But you'll be surprised, like doing that 7 days a week, that's 7 minutes of high intense activity over the course of a week, which is a pretty good amount, pretty good number. And then the last one, and this is kind of esoteric, I guess, a little bit, is just some other form of personal daily commitment. And this could be any piece of your life. So this could be something physical. This could be something nutritional. This could be something that you want to do in your business. This could be, maybe you want to add in praying every day. Maybe you want to, whatever it might be. Maybe it's you're going to do something for somebody every single day. I don't care what it is. Maybe you want to challenge yourself with learning something new. Maybe you want to learn how to play the guitar, and this is playing the guitar for 10 minutes every single day. I don't care what it is. This is just to kind of stretch us a little bit and force us to now take this a little bit into other areas of our life. Because I think that you've already seen, you have, like Mark said, Meg said, Joe said, like, this wasn't as hard as you kind of anticipated. It was just that you finally made the decision to commit to it. And so now take that into one other small little area of your life, something that maybe you've been wanting to do or know that you have wanted to do for a while. And you're like, you've just never forced yourself to do it on a regular basis. And now you're going to do it for 40 days straight. And that's going to be one thing that you have to check off every single day. Otherwise you start over or you fail. Right. So it's just a way for us to help force you into branching out a little bit and committing another commitment or completing another commitment that you've been telling yourself you wanted, but just have never made that decision to do it. Because you can all do it. We all know that we have the capability to do that now. And I can almost see the wheels turning in some of your heads. Like, what am I going to make that thing be every single day? Right.
So yeah, Jeff, I took this one the opposite direction last time I did this. And this one has stuck with me like one of the best things, like drinking water in the morning. This one was like one of the best for me. I noticed, I get caught in the scrolling of whether it's Facebook, stupid crap, or Instagram. So I limited myself on my phone basically after 10 minutes combined between Facebook and Instagram, that it blocks me off my phone. So I'm not allowed any more than 10 minutes a day on that app. And I know that's kind of the opposite, but like it was saving me an hour a day probably on the other end. So I took this one a little bit different, but this one stuck with me since, right? So I still have the block on my phone and all that. And I have not missed Facebook or Instagram at all.
That's perfect. And
Nice.
yeah, I love that that's how you used it. I don't care if it's adding something or in your case, taking something away. In fact, for most of us, taking something away is probably a good idea of finding something that we're doing in excess that, maybe is something to our detriment. So, and maybe I'll have to read through this and maybe even reword it a little bit so people do see that as an option. I love that Shep, and the fact that you kept it up and it continues to this day that just speaks volumes.
Basically because I forgot how the hell to turn off the block on my phone, I think. But no, it's been great. So I know that like I have to, I can only have so much time on it. So
well, I'm sure if you need help, my kids could show you how to turn a block off of your phone.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure mine would do the same.
Yeah, for sure. Any questions, comments from you guys? Just raise your hand in the chat and we'll get you on here. I do want to show you real quick. So I'll send this. In fact, I'll put it in the chat in just a second here. And then I'll put this in the, I just made a post in the Facebook group. And so if you need this link, just make a comment in the Facebook group and I'll DM it to you. But here's the calendar. Looks exactly or pretty close to the last one. And then we've got the daily checklist like before. And then I put in this other PDF. So you actually have somewhere where you can write down what are your diet and nutrition commitments, what's your alcohol commitment, and then what's that last PDC, your personal daily commitment. So you have it all in writing. So you can't squirm out of it that you didn't necessarily fail. You have to have it written down in order for it to count. So those resources will be available for you to download, print out, post all over your house, like many of your others.
Yep. Yeah, buddy. And I put it in the chat box there.
You did. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. a little
Thank
bit.
you.
And then there were a couple of comments. I know Randy had some things. Yeah. So when we're talking about the fours, like just go, yeah, right. Going on the maintenance, kind of now that we're past it, going on maintenance mode, and then do it again to as a refresher, I suppose.
Say,
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Randy.
basically what you said, Jeff, is that you're going from this routine, you're gonna take about a week off, and then you're gonna go ahead and do the back nine. So I used to compete in bodybuilding and pretty much finish a competition and then take a couple weeks off and get ready for the next one. But you have to have a goal, I think, and you mentioned that as well.
Absolutely. I think that we start to just kind of fly in the breeze if we don't have something that we're moving towards. And, you know, it's funny how I have to keep reminding myself of that with, you know, everything. Like if you don't have something that you're striving towards, you're just kind of rocking in the boat and waiting for the waves to take you someplace rather than you intentionally moving in a certain direction. And so really that's what this is about, is trying to help, you know, foster a little bit of a direction, a little bit of guidelines, so we can all continue to move in the direction that we know we want to. I know that these are all obviously rules that we put together, and you guys might have different rules that you want to make, but these are ours, and this is the back nine. But you know, then after this, then you know, just continuing to take this and realize that you have the diligence, you have the capability, but you have to take the time to set some of those rules and guidelines for yourself. So, yeah, I love Meg's comment. Peaky Blinders, take a shot every time somebody dies. You'd be drinking
wasted
quite a bit. Yep.
Yeah. You wouldn't live through that.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. Jim says, I received all doctors okay to begin a half forge on March 1st to start the rebuild process. I love it. Victoria, thanks for the new challenge. Absolutely. Any questions? We've got a couple minutes here still. Any questions from anybody regarding, let's see, Meg, I play tennis, not as much golf. I love that. The forehands and the backhands. I have one of my clients doing that as well. She's a big tennis player, not a golfer.
But I really did get more consistency with my swing just by doing that. I was really surprised how fast it actually improved my consistent follow through in tennis, because I didn't really expect that to happen, and it happened really quickly.
Very cool. I can't wait to hear. I want you to do the 60-second tennis swing now, you know, and you could even do one forehand, one backhand if you want to. But I'm curious
That's a good idea.
You know, just what your thoughts are on that too, because just like a golf swing, you know, when you slow it down, and oftentimes I'll do this with my eyes closed. I don't remember if I even put that in there to do it with your eyes closed, but I'd encourage you to every now and then do it with your eyes closed. But then you can really pay attention to, you know, what are my feet doing? Where's my balance? What's rotating? What's not rotating? You know, where is my arm position? And not that these are the things that you then want to be thinking in your swing, it's more just a little awareness of, oh, what's my natural tendency when my body's doing this, and oh, that's not necessarily what I'm really trying to do when I am playing. So maybe this is a place where you can work on a little bit of that muscle memory, motion, mind to body connection. So then when you are playing, you're not having to think about it so much. You've been grooving this every single day to be a much more consistent pathway.
Yeah, have you tried that 1 minute golf swing? I assume that you have.
Me? Yeah. So all this is what we did last
That was
year.
from last year? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
I think I got the 1 minute golf swing. The first time I saw it was from the Vision 54 group, Mia and Arpia and Lynn. And they were doing it with some of their players, some of their tour players, and having them close their eyes and do a 1 minute golf swing. And so that was years ago in some of the TPI stuff that I saw them. And so I had been doing that with some of my clients over the years and thought that was a perfect one to build on, the 15 swings that we did last time.
Right. Yeah. It immediately reminded me of like doing a 1 minute push up, which doesn't sound that hard.
That's
but
that's
that
way
sucks.
harder.
Yeah.
That's way harder. If I can find it, I'll have to, just speaking of the 1 minute push up, Tony Soib, our buddy, he has a friend, Jake, down in Dallas, and he did a 1 minute pull up, 1 minute
Oh, good God.
on the way up and 1 minute on the way down. It looks like camera trickery because, I mean, he's barely moving. And so when they posted it, a lot of people said it was bogus, but Tony was there when they filmed it, I believe. It's crazy. A minute on the way up, a minute on the way down. That's some
real
serious strength.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's real strength. That's old man strength.
No, I don't know an old man that can do that. All right, guys. Anything else before we go? Oh, I have a little exciting news. I haven't even talked to you about this, Rhino. I sent you a text about it. I'm going to be down at the Players Championship this year.
You didn't tell me about
on the Sunday of the Players Championship. So if my prediction works out,
oh boy,
Hayden Buckley hasn't won by that time. I mean, how great will it be when he wins the Players Championship? But I was invited to go down and play TPC Sawgrass the day after the Players Championship. So my buddy TJ and I were playing in a 2-man amateur deal. I don't know the format exactly yet, if it's a best ball or whatever, but I'm going to go down Saturday, hang out at the Players Championship on Sunday, watch Hayden win, and then we're going to have a party, and then we'll go play on that Monday and have a great time.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
What are the odds of you sticking it on 17?
Pretty good. I had
80-20, 90-10.
We'll say 80-20. I did have my lesson. I've been talking about getting together with Casey and doing my lesson. I had my lesson yesterday. I've got some things to work on. We'll have to talk about in fact, I'm going to interview Casey for a podcast next week. And we're going to talk about everything that he did. He had me on the body track system. We had the TrackMan going. We had the K-Vest on. And so we had all the technology on the, it was all going. He had like 3 computers happening, and it's pretty cool to see him diagnose what's going on, asking me, what my shots are and what my misses are, and then why those are happening, and correlating that to what we saw on the diagnostics. Really cool stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm interested to hear that. It'll be very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well,
very good.
Congrats, everybody, finishing up the Forge, and we'll see you guys next week. And let us know if you guys have any questions, need any help with anything. Obviously, that's why we're here. So we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you guys.
Adios.